As all of you know, we travel for the show, bringing you destination spots for Hawaii peeps to visit. Now, I also travel calling Hawaii football games, which I listen to because John is on ESPN Radio. Shameless plug. Now, if you are planning to fly, there are some things that you need to know before you head to your next destination. That's why we are excited to invite on the show Angel Castellanos. Did I say that correct?
Castellanos, yes.
Castellanos.
Thanks, Mikey. Aloha.
You know what? I wanted to test you, and you passed your last name.
That's right.
You are a travel ambassador. Now, if anybody's traveled with me, John knows this. I travel with at least 2 to 5 bags, some of them which are carry-on. Now, why are you team carry-on? And how can I minimize my luggage?
I am definitely team carry-on these days, especially because you just never know what's going to happen. You know, there are so many flights still being canceled. Southwest, for example, canceled hundreds and thousands of flights this past weekend. It's just better, in my opinion, to have a little bit more flexibility when you travel, and being team carry-on and not checking a bag does allow you to do that. I know it's not possible for every single trip to go carry-on, but I definitely suggest it, especially now. That way you can be absolutely flexible when you're traveling, and also don't have to wait in line to get your bags or spend money on checking a suitcase.
Easy to know. I do check in some of my bags just because I have this really bad knot, but that's just me. Okay, so I did mention earlier that I travel not lightly. What are some tips for easy packing? Personal question.
Okay, well, think about your itinerary thoroughly. I think a lot of people just start throwing things into their suitcase without really considering the activities they're doing and actually how many outfits they need for their vacation. So instead of thinking that you might need, 3 pairs of pants and 5 shirts, think about the different outfit combinations. And the best way to do that is by thinking of a color palette, or really considering your activities and what you might need for those activities. I mean, I think for both men and women, shoes are always an issue, especially if you're a guy like me and you have a larger shoe size. That can be a little bit of a pain. And I know I have no credibility with women. So what the women in my family do is they categorize their shoes, and they have outdoor shoes, evening shoes, and then shoes for just sort of walking around. So if you categorize your shoes, you're going to really have the right pair for your outfit. But I think the best tip is to really put everything into packing cubes. I'm a huge folder and roller, and these packing cubes just make the world of a difference when you're traveling. Now, a lot of them have this really good compression feature, which allows you to compress things down even more so you can fit more things into your suitcase. And these ones here are super lightweight, and they're actually antimicrobial, which I know is on a lot of people's minds these days.
Wow. Seen them, never really thought about them until you mentioned it. So I definitely will take your advice on that, Angel. Okay, what is the difference between using a hard shell luggage and a soft shell carry-on? Well,
that's one of the most common questions I get, and I think people need to think about it whether they need protection or flexibility, because with a hard-sided suitcase, it's going to be really rigid and you can only pack so much into it. But if you need a little bit more flexibility, if you're a overpacker like you are, Mikey, then you might want to go with a soft-sided, because you can really shove a lot of things in there. Yeah. But I think whether you choose either one, the key is to have an expansion feature. That way you can start small and then do shopping on your vacation, and then expand when you come home.
That's a lifesaver, for sure. Okay, you having that expansion feature, especially if you travel kind of like me. Okay, so like I said earlier, my co-host travels a lot for football. I travel a lot. We have a partnership with Alaska Airlines. What should we be packing while traveling in 2021? And for all of our viewers that are watching, especially since the holidays are coming up.
Yeah, I think the most important thing these days is to have your vaccine card with you. I travel internationally a lot, and that's becoming more and more of a requirement. And I wouldn't laminate your vaccine card, but have it in a protective case. You know, what I've done is I've just simply put mine in a Ziploc bag and cut the Ziploc part of it off and folded it over, and that way it has a little bit of protection. You should also definitely stock up on the PPE and hand sanitizer. Even though you're going to find hand sanitizer everywhere, I still like to use the sanitation wipes to wipe down my luggage and wipe everything down. And again, another reason why I go carry-on is because I don't like a lot of people handling my suitcase, so it's easy for me to clean it right afterwards.
That's easy. And of course, face mask, extra face mask.
Yeah.
I use the disposable ones, and sometimes they break a lot. Okay, what are some things that you never leave home without?
Oh, that's a really great question.
Yeah.
You know, my dad always said, as long as you have your passport and your money, you're pretty much good to go. Everything else is extra.
Yeah.
But I never travel without all of my electronics. You know, everyone uses their phone so much. So I have an extra battery charger that I always travel with. That way I'm not trying to hunt down an electrical outlet at the airport or in a lounge or something like that. And that's super important to me because, you know, I have so many electrical gadgets. It's easy for me to recharge a couple of different gadgets at one time, and then I'm good to go.
Awesome, awesome. And then Angel, if anybody wanted to learn more information or even reach out to you, is there a website that they could log on to?
Yeah, they can come to my website. It's called angelstravellounge.com. And I have all sorts of different travel articles, packing articles, technology, traveling with technology, all that good stuff is there.
Great to know. Angel, I'm going to keep you on speed dial because for my next trip, I'm going to need help packing lightly. It's going to be a challenge. But with your help, we can do this. Thank you so much for jumping on to Living 808 today.
Aloha. Thanks for having me.
Aloha, Angel.